Hey there, today we are going to go over different tractor transmissions. We have 3 different transmissions here that are available to try out, and we have a standard gear drive transmission, a power reverser transmission, and then your typical hydrostatic transmission. That's going to be the most popular version you see today. So stick around and we'll check them out.
Welcome to Good Works Tractors. From snow to mow, Good Works Tractors is the place to go. Shop goodworkstractors.com, subscribe to our channel below, like our Facebook page, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
So let me tell you what tractors we have here just to get started so you have an idea of what we're looking at. But over here is going to be a John Deere 3005 tractor. This is a 3 Series tractor, basically the manual version of the 3032E for all intents and purposes. But it does have a quick park loader on it versus a fixed loader, but it's about as close as you can get in comparison right now, and just a gear drive version. This is going to be a power reverser. It's also a gear drive, but a different version of that. It's a 4044M that you can see here. Bigger chassis size. It's going to be a 4 Series tractor instead of a 3 Series, but this will give you a look at a different option. You'll also see the power reverser available on the 3R series of tractors, like the 3033R, 3039R, 3046R, and the previous generation before them, as well as up into the 5 Series. Not sure about the 6 and 7 Series, but perhaps so. I'm just not as familiar with those series of tractors. And then over here, you're going to see the most popular style of transmission, which is a hydrostatic transmission. This is a John Deere 3033R, and again, this could come with that power reverser configuration, but this is the more common hydrostatic configuration. And you will see this has a 3-range transmission, where a lot of the smaller end tractors are going to have a 2-range transmission. So we'll get into that in a little bit more detail as well. So first, let's start out looking at the standard gear drive transmission. This is going to be your old school style of transmission, and I mean, this tractor even kind of feels old school. It's actually a 2010 or 2011, so it's not that old by tractor standards, but it's kind of got that boxy look, which is a pretty cool feeling. So anyways, what we have going on here, we're still going to have a high and low range. So you can see the H and the N and the L. That's going to indicate high, neutral, and low. 1, 2, 3, and 4 neutral, and then reverse down there. So you've got 4 gears that you can go forward in, and then just 1 in reverse. So however, you times that by 2 because you have 2 ranges. Okay, so you have a high and a low range. So you're going to do a 4x2 is what you're going to most commonly hear that called, or a 4x2 plus reverse is going to be a typical thing that you might hear. And so down here, this is going to be your clutch. You're going to have to push this clutch in anytime you want to change a gear. Now with this style of transmission, you can't change this on the fly. You can't be going in second gear in high range and going down and cruising along and then push the clutch in and change to a different gear. You need to come to a standstill and then change the gear. Now, one of the other features of a gear drive transmission is going to be the fact that you have a hand throttle as well as a foot throttle, which is this little pedal down there. And so for me, I find that handy if I'm in, say, I find high range and first gear to be a pretty handy one, because you're not going super slow if you're just moving around, but you can put the throttle down really low and then just hit your foot down on this pedal, and it's going to rev the RPMs up, and you're going to get, increased speed pretty quickly. And that goes across the board for any of the high, low range and gear configurations. So the downside of gear shift machines can be the fact that they're a little bit more inefficient if you're doing loader work primarily, because you have to change direction. You have to change the gear to go from forward to reverse in order to, from going into a pile and scooping up to pulling back and going away. Whereas with a hydrostatic pedal configuration, like on a John Deere, you're going to push one to go forward, just push the other pedal to go backwards. So with loader work, these are a little bit more inefficient. However, it's kind of like having built-in cruise control as well. So if you're going to be doing a lot of field work, for instance, if you're plowing or tilling or brush hogging, those kinds of applications there, where once you put it in range and set the throttle, it's just going at that constant speed for the duration until you do something to change it. Next up, let's take a look at a power reverser configuration, and this is again going to be quite similar to a standard gear drive, a manual type of configuration. You can see you still have a throttle up here and a foot throttle down below. However, I'll take a look at the other side and I'll show you what the main difference is going to be. And so what you're going to see here is that there is a slap handle, or a little shuttle handle right here. And what that means is that you can go from forward to reverse get a little bit better angle at this here. You have forward and reverse plus a neutral, but while you're on the move, you know, if you're going from point A to point B, or say you're going into a pile to scoop something up, you can just quickly hit that little lever there backwards, and you're just going to change direction. You don't have to clutch. There's no clutch that's required for that. You can just simply hit that little handle there and go from forward to reverse very quickly. Now, I don't recommend doing this at high speed. It is safe on the transmission, and the manual will tell you so. However, it's a little bit less jerky and jarring on the machine and on the operator if you're doing this at a low speed, or if you maybe go to neutral first and then come to a standstill or almost a creeping halt and then go to the reverse direction or the opposite direction. So you will still have your foot throttle down here, and you're going to have your range, your range over here. So you're going to have 3 ranges on this machine. So you have C is going to be high, B is going to be medium, N is always neutral, and A is low. You have your gears right here. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 plus a neutral. All right. So there's no reverse on here, because reverse is again controlled up here on this handle. So one of the cool things about this transmission is that you can shift on the fly. So if you're going along and in high range first gear and it's not fast enough for you, even though you're on the go, you can still, just like a truck, push that clutch in and hop on up to second gear or whatever. So the last transmission here that I want to talk about today is going to be your good old hydrostatic transmission, which dominates the subcompact and compact tractor market. And so you can see over here, you're going to have a forward and reverse pedal. Very easy to figure out. Just push one to go forward and the other one to go reverse while you're at a standstill. And again, this goes for any transmission. You need to only change your range when you are stopped. Don't be moving and then try to change the range. So you're going to have on this machine here a high, medium, neutral, and low. On the smaller machines like your 1025s and your BX series, you're going to have just a high and low. And same thing on the 2 series. In John Deere, you're just going to have a high and low. In Kubota, you will get that medium range, which is very nice. But that's it with the hydrostatic transmission. I mean, it's really straightforward. Pick your range and then hit the forward or reverse. Of course, adjust your throttle as needed. The higher the RPMs, the quicker the machine's going to go. You know, the quicker the engine's turning and hydraulic pumps are turning and everything else. So always adjust your throttle as needed. But that's it as far as the hydrostatic transmission is. I thought we'd give you a little bonus content, as I happen to have a Kubota still in inventory here. Well, it's sold, but it hasn't been delivered yet. So this is a hydrostatic configuration here. So you're going to have one pedal for forward and one for reverse right there. So just push down with your toe or push down with your heel to go forward or reverse. Again, always adjust your throttle. That's going to affect your speed as well. And then you can see over here, this is a 3-range hydrostatic transmission. So you have low, neutral. You can see medium right there, and then neutral and high. So even the Kubota hydrostatic machines do have a clutch, but that is going to be mainly related to engaging the PTO. Not going to be related to shifting ranges and anything to do with traveling forward or backwards. I'm going to try to demonstrate while I'm sitting on the tractor, so hopefully this goes smoothly, and bear with me. Okay, so tractor's off right now. I'm already in range. We're in B there. I'm simply going to turn the machine on. And then push the forward pedal. To go reverse, just the other pedal. If I want to change my range, do that while I'm at a stop. Low range. And then I'm back to traveling forward or reverse. Okay, so now I'm on the power reverser machine here, and you can see I am in B range right now. It's okay to leave these transmissions in range all the time. In fact, it might help them with immobilization a little bit. But it is in neutral. Right now I don't have it in a gear, and this is going to be your handle up here that lets you go forward or reverse. You need to be in neutral to start the machine. It will not let you start if you're in either forward or reverse, just a safety thing there. It doesn't want you moving unexpectedly. So I'm going to put the throttle up part way just to start the machine. I'm gonna throttle it back down here. I'm gonna use the foot throttle to demonstrate, just so you can pay attention to hear that engine throttling up, and then I'll demonstrate going from forward to reverse as well. So here we go. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to leave that low. I'm going to push the foot clutch in. I'm going to go into first gear there. So I'm in B range and first gear right now. I'm going to leave my foot depressing the clutch. And then I'll slowly let off and get into motion here. Okay. And I'm going to hit this and go right in reverse. And opposite way. So you can see it is a little bit jarring there. I know some of these have a control or a setting to allow you to adjust that change of motion there. So there may be a setting on here too. I just haven't found it yet. So I am in neutral again. If I take my foot off the clutch there as well, you can see the machine is just sitting there. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll put it right in reverse again, and we're reversing motion. And then again. Okay, and I will change on the fly here so you can see it. Oops, sorry, you couldn't see that, but let's get going again, and I'll change it on the fly. There you go. And then, see, this is what I mean about coming to a stop maybe and then hitting that opposite direction and backing up. Okay, so now I'm on the standard gear drive transmission. You can see down here we've got our range. I'm in range already, and then we have our gear select here. Again, 1, 2, 3, and 4 plus reverse. Got to leave this in neutral to start the machine. And then we've got our foot clutch down here. Hand throttle and foot throttle. I'll demonstrate that foot throttle again. I kind of like it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the machine on. Again, have to be in neutral or it will not start. And I'll just show you there's glow plugs too if you turn it the opposite direction. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it's just got that old school rumble. I really like these machines. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and oh, I think I've got the foot brake or the parking brake on. There we go. Parking brake is off. So now I can go ahead and push the clutch in over here, and I will put it into first gear, and we'll travel. And again, if I hit that throttle, that foot throttle, I can kind of just speed up. I got to come to a stop though, so you can see here I'm on a bit of a hill. So I gotta, when I had that clutch pushed in, you know, stop with your foot on the brake there, and now I can go in reverse and let off. And I'm changing direction and going the opposite way. And this whole time my hand throttle is down here at as low as it can go. And I'll push that throttle in, hit that brake, put it in neutral, we're good to go. So if we recap here a little bit, basically we're going to go from your standard gear shift transmission. Got to change gears at a standstill. You have to change ranges at a standstill. Engage the clutch to change either range or gear. You know, and on your gear select is going to be a reverse knob as well, right down on here. On the power reverser, the biggest improvement is going to be with that slap handle or hydro shuttle, that shuttle stick, whatever you want to call it, up here on the steering column. Okay, that's going to allow you to go forward to reverse or reverse to forward very quickly and efficiently without having to clutch anything, and you can do it on the move. So it doesn't make it the same as a hydrostatic transmission, but it makes the biggest drawback of a gear drive, which is going into a pile and coming backwards, much more efficient. You know, that's the biggest drawback. And so you still, again, have that kind of built-in cruise control just because you can go a constant speed once you're in gear and traveling. And then on to the hydrostatic transmission, the easiest of them all, the most expensive of them all. And some will say power robbing. I think you're going to notice about a less than a horsepower loss, maybe a half a horsepower loss from a hydrostatic transmission versus the gear drive. So I don't think that's enough to really even worry about. But again, just your ranges over there, select your range, set your throttle, and hit forward or reverse. Pretty easy. So let's take a look at the manual for the John Deere 3005 tractor. And if we scroll down a little bit further here, we will get to operating the gear transmission, which will open in another tab. This is the same manual as a hard copy that you would receive, and it's very easy to reference it online. And so you'll see here you get some information about the different knobs and functions that are on the tractor pertaining to the transmission. And then if you scroll down a little bit here, you're going to see the most important part to protect your transmission, which is how to operate it. And I've highlighted the first word there, but we'll read through this briefly, which is to depress the clutch pedal and stop machine motion before attempting to shift range shift lever or gear shift lever. What that means is come to a standstill, come to a stop, and then push the clutch in before you're going to change gear or change range. So don't do that on the fly. Don't go from forward to reverse on the fly. Don't change your range on the fly. You're going to do damage to your transmission if you do so. This is the John Deere 4044M manual. Again, it does apply to other tractors as well, not even just the 4 Series really, but the power reverser is going to function the same way in the 3 Series and the 5 Series and any other John Deere power reverser transmission that you see out there. And so we're going to scroll down just so I can show you where I found this information at, but you have a lot of different tabs here that are pertaining to the power reverser. One right there, and then several more down here. So a whole bunch to choose from. Again, I did click on this one right here just to give you a little information here and see what you want to do. And so I'll highlight that word right there. And so what you want to do is you want to come to a complete stop and depress the clutch pedal if you're going to change your range. Now, the difference is with this power reverser versus the gear drive is that you can change your gear while in motion. And so you just have to push in the clutch. You can see here, but if you're on the fly, if you're on the move and on the go, you can go ahead and just depress that clutch and keep on moving forward. As you're changing gears, you can upshift, you can downshift, that kind of thing. So that's a big difference there. So if you want to change travel direction, like you see here, this is what it mentions. The clutch use is not required. You just move the reverser lever to the forward or reverse position. Okay, so again, you can do that on the go. Just no clutch required. Just go ahead and slap that handle one way or another. And as a safety, it says shuttle shifting is not permitted at higher speeds. Transmission will default to neutral until a lower ground speed is reached. And that's just a safety for the engine so that you know that or for the transmission, so that you know that you're not damaging it. It has a built-in safety there to protect itself. On the John Deere 3033R, this applies to other series as well and other models, and this is a pretty straightforward application here, but we'll go ahead and scroll down so you can see what the hydrostatic transmission says. And it's actually just operating transmission because that's how popular and common it is. And so essentially all you do is choose a speed range to match the work application. And so you can see down here you have A is low, N is neutral. They call B high. I like to call that medium. And C is road travel. I mean, to me, that's high and B is medium. But you can see here what they're going to be used for is as far as tilling hard soils or mowing long grass. I mean, think of it as brush hogging or heavy hauling, loader work as well, that kind of thing. And then this B one here, which is the middle medium, they call it high, but you're going to do the light tilling and hauling, mowing the lawn, that kind of thing. And then this is just, you don't want to have a load on C. On a high range, this is simply going down the road. It's what I use when I go from my house to my shop. If you're just trying to get somewhere quickly from point A to point B, this is the range that you want to be in. I know that there's other configurations out there of transmissions. These just happen to be 3 different ones that I had in stock right now. I thought it'd be a good time to display those differences there and show you just how they can be used in different applications. So hopefully you found this helpful. Make sure you subscribe to our channel below. Check out goodworkstractors.com, like our Facebook page, and have a great day.